I can tell you something. If this system has its way, I will not be with you. I came in here perfectly healthy, and I will be worn down and left in such a way that they could end up killing me. You couldn't make this up. This, if this were Iraq, and I were an Iraqi woman, and it was Iraqi medical team, everybody here would be up in arms saying the Iraqis are inhumane, they're torturing this woman, because I am being tortured every single time I move. It's torment. They literally can't move me because I haven't been killed, but somebody else could be killed. And there is no way, as the doctor said, there is no way, irrespective of your age, that you fall directly 12 to 18 inches onto a hard surface, that you're not going to break something. I can't poo because they can't move me to put anything underneath me. They can't wipe me up if I poo. I said, it needs to be done as quickly as possible, so thereafter I can poo.
Lady C, you are still the most beautiful, sophisticated, most well-turned-out woman in Britain, even from your hospital bed. But are you okay?
I'm not okay, Dan, if the truth be known. It's an absolute disaster. The medical treatment is good, but the system is so inefficient. It's so deplorable. They were supposed to have, the hospital was requested day before yesterday by one of my surgeons in Brighton to send over my scans. They didn't do it yesterday morning. They faithfully said they would do it by midday yesterday. They didn't do it at all. And
that means your operation has been unable to take place.
I was supposed to have been operated on today in Brighton. I'm still at St. Thomas's. I'm blocking up a bed that has, they cannot do the surgery here. Then I caused a big fuss. So, and then with the whatever team it's called, I'll tell you what it's called. It's called the subject access, because they have, the NH has their system. And notwithstanding the fact that I'm in agony every time I move.
I was going to say, so you are in excruciating pain at the moment, Lady C.
Every time I move. If I don't move, I'm in discomfort. But if I move, it's excruciating pain. And notwithstanding that fact, the NHS has been perfectly prepared to keep me here blocking up a bed and preventing me from having surgery done by another doctor in another hospital, because they can't be bothered to send the scan. It's as simple as that.
It's disgraceful. How have they justified it?
They say they have their system, and everybody has to fit in with their system.
But you knew that the surgeon was ready, right? You knew that the surgeon in Brighton was going to be able to operate as long as he received the documentation.
Yes, and they knew it as well. And they knew it. And the problem isn't the doctors and the nursing staff. The problem is the bureaucrats who are on fat salaries, who have no humanity. They don't care. I mean, they now care, because I was actually about to phone West Street in to tell him to get his people off their
sorry. The UK Health Secretary.
Yes, but then as the subject access team seems to have kicked into high gear somewhat, but they want me, for instance, Mr. Stott, who's the surgeon who would do me in Brighton. They want me to provide them with his email address, notwithstanding the fact that he has contacted them on the National Health Service to demand my scans. And I don't have his email address. I mean, the whole thing stinks to high heaven. This country is not fit for purpose, let me tell you, in this situation. I've pointed out to the doctors and the nurses, if this were Iraq and I were an Iraqi woman and they were all Iraqi authorities, everybody in this country would be up in arms about the fact that a 76-year-old woman is being deprived of the possibility of having her condition cured because they can't be bothered to actually function in an emergency. And they can take days or weeks, it turns out,
It's
to,
sick. It's
do
sick.
what they should be doing in minutes.
And
It's
no one's
outrageous.
prepared to talk about this. And this is what makes me so angry, Lady C, because for a long time, I have said the NHS is not fit for purpose. It's not something which we should go around as a country pretending is some brilliant service. It may have been decades and decades ago. It's not anymore. It's bankrupting us. And actually, you're not even getting the treatment that you need. Something has to change. And it's stories like yours which hopefully will make people wake up. Because what if this was their mother, their wife, their sister who was being denied the surgery?
They don't care because they have it's not the medical part team. It is the bureaucrats and the administrators who are running the hospital and who run the system. And they said about their system, I said, I don't give a continental damn about your system. I said, I'm in pain. This was supposed to have been done 2 days ago. It's not been done yet. You don't have an excuse for doing it. This is outrageous. I need you to get your asses into high gear. It's unbelievable.
And Lady C, there's been a lot of concern about you because, of course, the Sun and the Mail ran with the story that you had been rushed from this event to hospital after this fall at an event. Now, you looked absolutely stunning at this event. There you are. And I believe
that was not at that event. This was at another event. That was
fine.
I was there with Amanda and I went to Bushra Fakuri and her son Malik Fostock's exhibition at the Mal Galleries. That was a week or two ago.
Got it. So this was her event at a hotel in central London. And what actually happened?
Well, it's very chic. It's very fashionable. It's very decorated. And you walk into this screening room and it's black on black. The floors are black. Dark. There are little light things from up down. But so you walk into a room and of course you acclimate yourself by, looking to see how the land lies. Well, the land lay very plainly. It was that I was being put in the front row, and there was somebody seated nearby where I was sitting, and their legs, obviously, when you sit, your legs protrude. So rather than step over their legs, I went to circumvent their legs, little realizing that there is a drop. It's not a step, it's a drop of between 12 and 18 inches. And I stepped into the abyss.
Oh, God.
And I was immediately catapulted down. And as it
gives me
happened,
chills.
I knew that I'd broken something. I actually thought I'd broken my hip, but I hadn't. Evidently, my hip broke my pelvis. The force of the impact, had it been a normal step, normal step is about 4 or 6 inches. there would have been no problem because you could have recovered. But because it's a massive drop, you end up with a huge impact injury. It's a very chic looking design, but it's a very bad design. And in fact, the one of the very nice young men, paramedics, who came to take me to the hospital, he said that he nearly had the same thing happen to him.
God.
Can you believe it?
Unbelievable. And so this is the big premiere, Lady C. You're obviously writhing in pain. The paramedics have to come. So did they cancel the premiere, or what happened?
Oh, absolutely. I refuse to allow that. It was the launch of Amanda Eliash's film, The Truth Will Out, which is a wonderful film about whether William Shakespeare wrote all of his plays and sonnets, or whether there was, say, a studio of writers, and he published the works under his name, because the true authors of some of the works, who were members of Queen Elizabeth I's court, or indeed, if they weren't members of her court, they were connected to her, like possibly her illegitimate son. And so they couldn't have their their contribution, so to speak, broadcast. So there's a lot of evidence to support that William Shakespeare was not the author of all of the works which have been attributed to him. And it's a brilliantly done movie. And it's very scholarly, but it's also very technologically attractive. And so I said, because I said, no, this happened at 2:20. The screening was supposed to begin at 2:30. I said, because they had to prop me up. They couldn't move me. I was in so much pain. So I said, let's not make a fuss about this. Let's just start the screening.
No.
And also they said they could have been 2 hours, 3 hours. They didn't know how long they were
waiting for the ambulance.
Waiting for the ambulance. So I thought, let's start the screening and I will look at it as well. Well, because of the way I was positioned, when I tried to look, I was getting a cramp in my back. So I had to look through my compact mirror.
Oh my God, that is amazing. So you still got to see the film?
Yeah.
Oh, but you must have been in so much pain, Lady C.
Yes, but Dan, one doesn't make a fuss of these things. One doesn't really want to make an exhibition of oneself either. So one just sort of rocked and rolled with it. And why ruin it for everybody else just because it's been ruined for me? But I mean, this should not have happened.
No.
There's no way that should have happened, because when I walked in, and it is clear to me, having a degree in design, that the room was designed to trick the eye for you to think that it's all one level, when in fact there is a considerable gap. There's no anything. They didn't have anybody.
And have you heard from the Soho Hotel? Have they apologized or said they're going to look into this at all?
Well, they got in touch with my son yesterday. He has not got in touch with them. But ironically enough, Kit Kemp is a good friend of one of my greatest friends. So she phoned up Maggie, and she said, Maggie Giedemal, you've met Maggie Giedemal. She phoned up Maggie and she said she'd heard about this terrible thing and terrible accident, and she was going to phone me. And so, if she phones me, fine. I mean, I prefer that this be resolved nicely and civilly. you know, but I mean, they really do have to change the design because I haven't been killed, but somebody else could be killed. And there
Yeah.
is no way, as the doctor said, there is no way, irrespective of your age, that you fall directly 12 to 18 inches onto a hard surface, that you're not going to break something. And the irony is, I have osteoporosis in my hips, but it's my hip that broke my pelvis. So my hips are obviously still in good enough nick that they didn't break despite the
Wow.
impact.
Well, the hips don't
But
lie, as they say, Lady
but
C. The hips
but
don't lie.
they hit again, you know, the pelvis, the hip hit against the
Yeah,
pelvis,
but you could
and
have
it
been
broke
killed.
down.
You could have been killed. It's terrible.
Well, yeah, yeah, it's sweet of you to say, but I have to say the pain though is
Mm.
excruciating. Every time you move, it's tremendously painful. And they have me on morphine and all sorts of other painkillers. But they don't really take the edge off the pain when you are moving, because it's every time you move, it's as if it re-breaks the the pelvis again.
Oh my
So,
God. Oh my
and
God. Well,
really,
so you
I
need
also
this surgery. You need this surgery ASAP because what is the recovery process? Have you looked into that at all after the surgery? How long are you going to have to be
well,
hospitalized for?
I am well. This again, the the St. Thomas's doesn't do pelvises, they do hips. And they brought me here thinking it was my hip. So they have been in touch with St. Thomas's from Sunday evening. There was the possibility that I would be transferred and to St. Thomas, to King's College, and operated on Monday morning. So they said, you can't eat breakfast in case. And that didn't happen. It hadn't happened yesterday either. So my son Dima got himself into high gear and found Mr. Stott, who ironically enough was trained by the top guy at King's College who would deal with me. So, uh, so I'll be in very good hands no matter what. But, but there is a total absence of information.
Mm.
Nobody's in a position to give information because nobody is engaged, and the system prevents engagement. I mean, it is, you couldn't make this up. This, if if this were Iraq and I were an Iraqi woman and it was Iraqi medical team, everybody here would be up in arms saying the Iraqis are inhumane, they're torturing this woman, because I am being tortured every single time I move. It's torment. They literally can't move me.
Well, it's a disgrace. We're going to make sure
And
that
and
Wes
this, and I
Streety knows
pointed
about
out,
this.
but I also pointed out to them on Sunday, I said, this needs to be done as quickly as possible because I can't poo, because they can't move me to put anything underneath me. They can't wipe me up if I poo. I said, it needs to be done as quickly as possible. So thereafter I can poo. I have a catheter in that yesterday they managed to somebody managed to put it so elevated that for the whole of the day the fluid wasn't going into the bag, it was going into my bladder,
Oh
back
my
into my
God.
bladder. I mean, that's the only mishap that I've had medically here, but the system does not allow for access for cooperation. It is so it's not that the information is there, because the information has been there since Sunday evening. It's that the information is here, but nobody is allowed to access it.
Disgrace.
Yes,
It is a
it's a total
disgrace.
disgrace.
It is a
And if this is
disgrace.
happening, and I'm just glad that I'm in a position to call time on this tune, because can you imagine the thousands of people that this sort of thing happens to every day? They don't have a platform. They don't have a voice. They can't ring up bloody West Streeting and say, which I was about to do, get yourself into high gear, but hopefully the information will be sent today. Because really, questions should be asked in Parliament as to why. In fact, I may actually, when I hang up from you, I may consider asking one or two MPs to ask questions in Parliament as to how something like this can happen. Because if they have their unmitigated goal, Dan, to do it to me when they know I'm a high profile individual and the likelihood is they will get found out. Can you imagine how much worse it is for people who have no profile?
100%. 100%.
Unbelievable.
And this happens every single day. No, thank God for calling it out. And thank God that you are okay, Lady C. I mean, you're not okay, but you know what I mean. You're
Yeah.
with us, and you will be with us, and that
Well,
is the most important thing.
I can tell you something. If this system has its way, I will not be with you. I came in here perfectly healthy, and I will be worn down and left in such a way that they could end up killing me.
God. Well, we're not going to let
Because
that happen.
that's how bad it is.
We're not going to
That's
let
how
that
bad.
happen. We will not let that happen. We're going to keep across this, of course. And are you feeling the love, Lady C? I mean, I've had so many people from across the world contact me asking if you're okay. I obviously spoke to you in hospital yesterday, so I was able to reassure some people. But are you feeling the love? Are you aware that there's this huge outpouring since the story broke?
Yes, it's amazing, Dan. People have been extremely kind generally. Of course, one or two of the Sussex squad have said that they're delighted that it couldn't have happened to a worse person, sort of thing.
Aren't they delightful?
But
Showing their true
people
colours
all
again.
over the world have been sending in messages, and it's marvelous. People are by and large very kind, and it's much appreciated.
Well, we love you, we adore you, and you've got to keep fighting for us. So we're going to get you out of this damn hospital, get the operation done, get you back to the channel, and then back on Outspoken. But Lady C, we're going to keep across this. We love you lots. Stay strong, and hoping that you get this surgery within the next 24 hours.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. And may I thank everybody who has sent messages. All the people who I can't thank, because there are too many of them. But I mean, it's really been very touching. People have gone the extra mile for me. And it's nice to know that people care and that I'm appreciated. And thank you, Dan. Okay?
Mwah.
British socialite and royal commentator Lady Colin Campbell, affectionately known as Lady C, has been rushed to hospital after suffering a serious fall at the Soho Hotel in London. The 76-year-old author and television personality, best known for her outspoken personality and appearances on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, is said to have broken her pelvis during the incident. According to close friends, Lady Colin, whose real name is Georgie, had been attending a private screening of filmmaker Amanda Eliash's new movie, The Truth Will Out, when the accident occurred. Witnesses reported that the room was poorly lit, and as Lady C was making her way to her seat, she accidentally stepped into a gap caused by a 15-inch drop that was not visible in the dim light. Sources said she fell heavily and was in significant pain. An ambulance was called immediately, and in an ironic twist, the attending paramedic reportedly almost tripped on the same unseen step while entering the screening room. Lady Colin was later taken to St Thomas's Hospital in central London, where X-rays confirmed she had suffered a broken pelvis She was said to be in stable condition and remained under medical supervision. Doctors later arranged for her transfer to a specialist hospital that deals specifically with pelvic injuries. Despite the painful ordeal, friends said Lady Colin had been maintaining a brave face and trying to stay positive throughout her recovery. The accident occurred during what was meant to be a light-hearted evening among friends. Lady Colin is known to have a close friendship with Amanda Eliash, the filmmaker hosting the event. The two have collaborated several times, including on Amanda's YouTube series, Bedtime Stories, where they often discuss royal affairs and celebrity controversies. Lady Colin Campbell is widely recognised for her strong opinions and long-standing fascination with the British royal family. Over the years, she has written several unauthorised biographies, including books about Princess Diana, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. Her outspoken nature first catapulted her to mainstream fame in the year 2015, when she appeared on the ITV reality series I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here. Her time on the show was nothing short of explosive. Known for her sharp tongue and fiery exchanges, Lady Colin frequently clashed with fellow contestants. During her season, she reportedly insulted musician Tony Hadley, calling him lazy and incoherent, and later argued with American choreographer Brian Friedman, delivering a string of famously outrageous remarks that became part of the show's history. She also had heated confrontations with Duncan Bannatyne and television presenter Yvette Fielding, whom she dismissed with typically cutting wit. Although Lady Colin left the show on medical grounds before reaching the final, her unapologetic attitude and biting humour made her one of the most memorable and talked about contestants in the programme's history. Now recovering from her recent fall, Lady Colin Campbell is expected to remain in hospital for further treatment and rehabilitation. Friends say she remains characteristically defiant and determined, qualities that have defined her public persona for decades.